This is Kevin Cassis for IFL TV. We're in Essex here at Newlands Gym for the Billy Joe Saunders media workout. With me I've got trainer Jimmy Tibbs. How are you, Jimmy?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah. You're no stranger to here, obviously, and you'd like to take Billy Joe away to here just to get away from everything, I'm assuming. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's the idea of it. You've got the gym to yourself. He's just got himself to look at and himself to train while I'm training him, but we've got all the concentrations going on one man while we're in this gym. That's the reason we like being here. It's quiet, fresh air outside, you know.
Is it that much of a distraction at the
no,
TKO?
The TKO is as Joseph said, the TKO is a good gym, a great gym, but all good fighters go away to camp, and that's what we're doing. We're setting up camp just outside of London.
Huge opportunity for Billy Joe on the 26th of July against Bernamora. Unbeaten. What do you know about him, Jimmy?
I've seen him fight a couple of times. A very good boxer. I don't think he's not that much of a puncher, but he likes to steal the fight. No, he's a good defensive fighter. But we've trained hard for this fight. We're not underestimating him, and we're going to go out there and do a proper job if we can.
Already British champion, on the verge of hopefully clinching that European title. Is he on par with any domestic middleweight in the country, do you think, Jim?
Well, I'm thinking now he's on par with them all now, because he's mature. He's just coming through. Well, they're all 28, 30s, 32s. They're mature men. He hasn't reached his full maturity yet in man strength, but that's just started to come. So we're going to see what happens after this fight, and then I suppose we'll sit down with Frank, obviously, Frank Warren, and he'll decide where he's going to go next. But I've been thinking about a lot about these fights, these domestic fights, and he's just maturing now to hold himself with anyone in the country. That's my opinion.
Obviously, you won't be overlooking the 26th, but he is rated #1 with the WBO, and there has to be an eye on that.
Is he rated already? #1?
Rated #1 with the WBO.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm not, as you say, I'm not overlooking this fight because it is for the European title. If we win it, we've got to see where we're going to go there for a world title eliminator. That'd be down to Frank.
Is he ready for that now?
Yeah, I believe he's ready, yeah. Another fight maybe, but he's ready. I wouldn't argue about it if they put him right in.
Absolutely. Been out of the ring a little while.
Yeah.
How's he been in training in general?
Fantastic. I mean, he's been out of the ring a little while. The way he's been sparring, he has had a few rounds with different people, but and the rest of his work, he's as if he's never been away. It may have done him the world of good, so he can grow a bit, maturity-wise.
You mentioned sparring partners coming over in Nick Blackwell and Gary O'Sullivan.
Gary O'Sullivan, yeah.
Two opponents that he's already beaten.
Yeah.
So,
but they was tough boys. So we wanted someone strong, someone who can box a bit. They both can do that. Well, Spike, he'll be the one coming forward. He'll be strong. Yeah, we're satisfied with the sparring partners. Nick Blackwell, Nick can box as well as fight.
And you believe that we're yet to see really what Billy Joe Saunders is?
Exactly. We haven't seen nothing yet. He's only 24. If he's still going in the game, which I believe he's had 2 broken hands, torn tendons in his wrist, put him out for about 2 years, 18 months, 2 years, but he's still hung in there and come back and wants to win the European title. That's why I believe he'll be around a long while in this game. It's up to him, but I believe he will. And then if he's around a few more years longer, then you start seeing the real Billy Joe, when he's a fully matured middleweight, come super middleweight maybe. That's what I believe.
Is there a concern over his hands, Jim?
No, not now. You can see why he's punching.
Yeah.
No, I'm not concerned. His hands. He always used to bruise during a fight, but he had to accept them things. Them things do happen in the real thing. And we iced him up and that. But the main concern, he broke his hand twice during a fight, during 2 fights. Consecutively, he broke them. Then he torn his tendons in his wrist. That put him out of action for another 6-7 months. But he hung in there and he's still come back. He wants that European title. He wants to be world champion. Now, we don't know if he's going to be world champion. No one knows what's going to happen, what's around the corner. But he's got all the ingredients, in my opinion, to be world champion.
There's also been a lot of talk of a potential fight at some point with Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously, there's been a lot of.
There's been a lot of talk, a lot of not backstabbing, popping one another, this and that. But look, you've got to look in the right order here. Billy Joe's, as you say, is #1 contender for the WBO.
Yeah.
Chris Eubank Jr., with respect, is an 8-round fighter. Now, don't get me wrong, we've all been 8-round fighters, nothing wrong in that, but he's got to bring something to the table, I would think, to make it, and I know everyone wants to see the fight, it's so unbelievable. I mean, he's a champ, he's got 3 titles, but everyone wants to see him fight Chris, but that'd be up to Frank, he'll work something around that, wouldn't he, I suppose.
I think the lure of a big domestic clash entices the fans as much as anyone else, so that's why everyone gets talking about it.
It'd be a good big draw. It'd be a big draw.
Fight you'd entertain?
Well,
personally as a trainer?
Listen, I work with Billy Joe. I'm going to stay with Billy Joe. If Frank says he's fighting Chris Eubanks Jr., then we get going.
All right, Jim. Well, listen, wish you the best luck for the rest of your camp, and we'll see you the week of the fight, which is
no problem.
dawning upon us soon. All right, thanks a lot,
Good man.
Jimmy. Nice one.